It was supposed to be a family dinner, the kind where everyone wears manners like armor and pretends the knives are just forks. But that night, the table turned into a battlefield. My mother's voice cut the air. It's your duty to pay for her wedding. My father slammed his fork down like a gavel. You need to contribute to the family. If you won't, disappear from here forever. My sister sat across from me, smiling. Not the conciliatory smile that hides tension, but the kind that savors it. She'd been waiting for this. I felt it crawl up my spine. This wasn't their plan. It was hers. I stood up, steady, almost attached. The words left my mouth before I could edit them. You have 24 hours to leave. Backstory. Alina had always been the golden child. Perfect grades, perfect hair, perfect lies. I used to cover for her. When she stole, I smoothed it over. When she lied, I cleaned up the aftermath. That was our pattern. When our parents' business collapsed, I rebuilt it quietly, stubbornly, night after sleepless night. They called it luck. It wasn't. It was 12 years of work. Alina, meanwhile, married rich, left, and came back broke, but with a smile that cut deeper than any accusation. This dinner was her last move. Secure comfort, by any means necessary. Through me, discovery came 2 weeks before the meal. A ledger gone missing. A client retracting a transfer I never authorized. When I dug through the accounts, I found her fingerprints, literal access, late-night entries. At first, I told myself it was a mistake. Then the messages appeared. She'd been communicating with her fiancé, her newest target. They planned to drain my funds, buy the house in her name, and push me out of the company I'd built. I remember reading those messages, each line colder than the last. She called me the perfect idiot. Maybe she was right. Once. Mindset shift. I didn't confront her. I played the fool. I gave her exactly what she expected. While she arranged her wedding, I arranged my defense. I moved every liquid asset into a trust held by my company. I rotated passwords, revoked access, and consolidated the family home's title under my name. My father had technically signed it over years ago. He just didn't remember. I reached out to her fiancé under the pretense of helping with the wedding fund. He sent me his company details. They were drowning in debt. I quietly negotiated with his creditors and legally assumed the debts. Suddenly, both of them owed me, and neither knew it. Execution. The night before the dinner, I invited the fiancé to finalize payment. He arrived drunk and loud, bragging about the life he expected once I stepped aside. I recorded him. Every boast, every casual confession. By morning, copies went to my lawyer, the bank, and the family accountant. The wedding account was frozen. His debt was called in. At dinner, when I said, "You have 24 hours to leave," she laughed, a thin, incredulous sound. My phone buzzed on cue. The lawyer's notification landed in her inbox, too. She read. Her smile started to crack. "What did you do?" she whispered. I leaned in close. "I did what you've been trying to do your whole life. Survive without stealing." My mother gasped. My father looked bewildered, trying to assemble the pieces. I didn't wait for explanation. "You drained my account. Selena, you used my name. You meant to ruin me, to fund your wedding. Congratulations, now it's yours to pay for." The fiancé's phone rang. I knew the ringtone. The creditors I'd negotiated with were calling. His face turned ashen. She reached for him. He stood, left, and walked out. No shouting, no physical scenes. Just a quiet collapse of 2 carefully constructed lives at a dinner table. Resolution. They were gone by morning. 23 hours later. My parents cut me off for weeks, mouths full of denials and excuses. Then the truth leaked. Bank calls, legal letters, relatives whispering. Maybe they understood. Maybe they never fully did. I didn't care. Revenge, I learned, wasn't always about destruction. Sometimes it's a precise reminder that someone never deserved the place they occupied. That night, alone in the empty dining room, the echo of the confrontation still warm, I smiled for the first time in years. Not because I'd won, but because I'd finally stepped out of the role they'd written for me. They wanted me gone, so I made sure they were the ones who disappeared.